Good morning. Welcome to the Keto Mom page. We are diving into the perspective of praise. We're diving into this book. We are almost done. We've got a couple chapters left, and then we are going to recap everything that we've done since May. Basically, I'm just going to give you and share with you if you weren't here in May, if you didn't read some of those books. I'm going to talk to you about the books that we've read and how to implement the very simple strategies and different action steps into your life. We're going into a new season, right? I believe it's a new season. Summer's almost done. School's around the corner. Some of you your kids have already started school. Ours don't start till September. But we're going into a new season. And I feel like when you do that, you got to armor up. And so what we're going to do is we're going to recap all of the books that we have done over the summer, and then we're going to dive into the Dream Board, Vision Board book in September. So, as you're tuning in, where are you tuning in from? And I'd love to know if you're reading, if you're following along, what do you think of the book? And I'll give you a basic understanding of this chapter, and we've got one more chapter tomorrow, and then we're done. There might be a conclusion. So on Monday, we're going to start recapping everything that we've learned from the Miracle Morning, Atomic Habits, really basic concepts of perspective and mindset to help you understand, I should put habits into place so that my actions change. Or, I don't rise to the level of my goals. I fall to the level of my systems. What are systems? We're going to talk about the Miracle Morning and owning your morning, owning your day. So, chapter 11 in this book, where are you tuning in from? How's your morning? Basically talks about giving praise, not worrying, because anytime you're worrying or you're frustrated or you're anxious, all of those feelings, right, cause you, so it's a thought, which causes you ultimately to say things, to do things. It doesn't add any value in your life, right? To worry about things that may never come to pass. So it talks a lot about worrying, what to do with that. It talks a lot about praying. And so halfway through the chapter, I loved what he says. He says, years ago, neurologists believed that the brain didn't change after adolescence. He says, we know today that that's not true. Our brains are constantly evolving. Neurologists call this process neuroplasticity. I think I said that right. It's the idea that we can resculpt our brain just as we can sculpt our muscles with some good grief, you think I could talk. With some strategic time like you spend at the gym, your brain is rewiring itself all the time. By creating those new neural pathways. We talked about that, right? When you do things over and over again, you create a neural pathway and you just automatically do it, even if it's not a positive action step, right? You just do things because you've done them for so long. Each time you think a thought, it's easier to think that thought again and again. That's good news if you're thinking on good things, right? If you're not, then it's going to create a bad neural pathway. That's why it's so important to understand the power of what you put into your mind, the things that you're speaking, the things you're listening to, the people that you're around, and all of those thoughts and the things that you put in create neural pathways. We want to have positive ones so that ultimately you can have a control over. A lot of you might be going, I just don't get it. Well, let me ask you this question. When you get up, and if your day doesn't go how you want it to go, or your morning, or let's say a kid's screaming, you're trying to get out the door, do you feel like when you're anxious or when you're frustrated or your morning doesn't go the way you want it, do you think you're going to choose better options for food? I'm just talking about food right now. Overall, that day. You might even be having a day like that today. Probably not, because you're just going to grab what's in front of you. You're going to eat out of emotion. You're going to eat out of frustration. It's so important to be able to control or help control your mindset, have action steps and things to put into place so that you can not worry, not be afraid. We want to learn how to respond versus react. We want to learn how to control our emotions so that you can ultimately control this, create neural pathways, create better habits and systems so that you can take control of everything in your life, right? Not in a weird control. What I mean is you can control the food that you eat. You can control your actions and the words that come out of your mouth, right? I hope that makes sense. So, the book is great. Again, I can't read all the stories. This chapter was actually really long, but it says your life is always moving in the direction of your strongest thought. Worrying and toxic thinking will change your brain and move your life in a direction you don't want to go. So he shares a ton of stories. What's really cool at the end is he always gives you an action step. And this action step or this thought is called the God box. And he said so this is actually really cool. I think my kids would love this. He said every time you have something so get a little box, put it on your counter. He says, call it the God box. And every time you're worried or afraid or you're anxious or you're frustrated, whatever that is, you write it down and you put it in the box. And then you have to go, nope, I'm not going to worry about it. I'm going to keep going on with my day. It's going to be an amazing day. I'm going to control my thoughts, right? I'm going to praise. I'm going to do all these different things. I'm going to create a different neural pathway. He says if you decide later that day or that week that you want to worry about it again, then you go take that little thing out of the box and you go, sorry, God, I don't trust you with this. I'm going to go deal with it myself. Right? So I don't know about you, but I think that's a great little box to make for your kids, for yourself, for your family. It just gave me a new perspective. I was like, oh, that's good. How often do we worry about things over and over and over again? And half the time, 80% of the things you worry about never come to pass. Isn't that crazy? I don't remember where I read that statistic, but I have read it somewhere. All right. So I would encourage you to continue to, if you have not gotten the book, grab the book or the Audible, listen to it. It's incredible. We've got one more chapter, which I am going to cover tomorrow, and then we're going to dive into all of the books and making sure we understand the action steps of all of them that we've done over the last couple months. If you were not here to read with us, it's okay. I'm just going to give you a basic understanding of how to own your morning, how to help own your emotions, how to control this or help control this so that you can have some ownership in your health because your mindset is important. I truly believe that. So with that, I'm always here to help. I hope you have an incredible morning, an incredible day. Reach out with any questions that you have, and that's it. So we'll talk to you very soon. I'm always here to help you, and have an incredible day. Bye, everybody.